The Elm Hill City Zoo welcomes its first crocodilian, and this is the critically endangered Gharial. Hello guys, this is Caesar Creates, and welcome back to my channel. It is my first Planet Zoo speed build video in a while, and I am super excited to finally be back and finally build something new in this game in our beloved Elm Hill City Zoo. Today we'll be adding a new reptile to the zoo, we'll be building a new enclosure in our new reptile house. A while ago we added our first reptile, the water monitor from the new tropical pack, and right now it is time to add the first crocodilian to our zoo. And it is of course the Gharial, a very interesting and a critically endangered reptile. I think that the crocodiles, along with the primates and maybe hippos, are one of the most requested animals by you guys to be added to the zoo. Of course I plan to add all of them, but it is finally time right now to add some of the crocodiles, so I hope you guys will be excited by this. I hope you will like the habitat that I've built for the wonderful Gharial. The Gharial is of course an animal from the base game. It's been such a long while since I've built a habitat for those guys, so I was actually quite excited to build for them, especially that I saw them for the first time in my life in person, live in the San Diego Zoo in my recent visit to USA, and they are incredible creatures. So I was really excited to build for them. I had to choose between the Gharial, the saltwater crocodile, and the alligator, because those are the three crocodilians that I plan to add in this specific part of the reptile house. I will talk more about that later in the video, but yeah, for some reason I decided that starting off with the Gharial is the best idea, and I'm glad that I did, because the habitat for them came out really well. I have so many things that I would like to tell you guys in today's video. I hope that the time that we have will let me do that. If not, we'll continue in the next one. But of course, we also need to describe a bit what is happening, what we are building, what were the inspirations, and so on. So let's start with that. As you guys probably know if you've watched my previous episodes, like the first episode that we started to build this reptile house and the next one where we added the water monitor, this whole building is inspired by the reptile house in the Berlin Zoo. It is loosely inspired by that. I'm not trying to recreate the building, I just like the idea of it and I'm trying to make something similar. And the reason why I decided to go for this specific building were the things that we are doing today. I mean, in the middle of that building in Berlin, there is like a specific crocodile and turtle enclosure that you can actually go into. Like, it's sort of like a walkthrough enclosure. Of course you are not on the same level, or you cannot touch the crocodiles because this could end really bad, but you are sort of able to go into the enclosure, but you are on this elevated bridge. So you are in this very like city zoo-ish older building, and suddenly there are those glass like doors that you can open, and you can enter the jungle where there are a lot of different plants, like tropical plants, and there's this like river in the middle, and you are on this bridge, and on both sides of this bridge there are two different enclosures, and you are basically in the same room with the crocodiles and so on. And I thought that it is such an amazing thing that I really wanted to recreate something like that in Planet Zoo. Of course, because of the game, of how it works, and you know, the animals typically need some more space just to be able to move around the enclosures in this game. We weren't able to do it as small as in the Berlin Zoo, and because there are so many crocodilians in the game that I know that you guys want me to add, I needed to make it a much bigger thing. So we'll have two different bridges actually in this in this whole like enclosure that the guests will be able to walk into. We'll have 3 enclosures there, so there will be one that we are building right now. There will be one in between the 2 bridges, probably for the saltwater crocodile, and then we have the third one that we'll build later for probably the alligators. I still haven't decided, but this is what I think I will go for. So I'm starting this episode today with building the actual glass roof for this entire big enclosure. We need a lot of light in there because there will be a lot of tropical plants growing there. This is something that I took from the Berlin Zoo. It was directly inspired by that. I was even trying to recreate that roof. So this is the first part of the video. The actual bridge that I was talking about, we will do at the end of the video with the entrance to this like enclosure for the guests and so on. And in the rest of the video, we'll just focus on trying to decorate the entire space for the Gharials. We'll do cool planters, we'll add a lot of plants, the rock formations and stuff like that. Also, we'll do like the 2 viewing like windows on the side, so the guests don't need to enter actually this enclosure if they don't want to. For some reason, they can just watch the Gharials from those 2 sides. Probably sometimes they can get a better view for the Gharials and so on. So yeah, that was my plan for those enclosures from the very beginning. I based this entire building around this enclosure actually, so I first like mapped out this enclosure, those bridges and so on, and then I added the rest of the building, and it was such a cool plan to do and so on, and it sounded also beautiful in theory and so on. But let me just tell you that I almost gave up on this idea while building this habitat. As you guys could see, there were a lot of things already done in the enclosure while we started the video. That's why I had to do a lot of trials and so on, because I just couldn't figure out how I should do the habitat gate for this enclosure. It was so difficult. Sometimes this game is a bit annoying. I need to say that, because you need this habitat gate to be able to transport the animals into the enclosure, and the game just wouldn't allow me to put this habitat gate anywhere because the land area in this enclosure was so small. The whole issue was also the path. Unfortunately, you know, the whole enclosure is below the actual path around the reptile house, but it is not below enough for the gate to fit in there. So if you ever try to do like the multiple floored building in this game, you probably know the struggle with the path, how difficult it is, and how much space or height or anything you need to leave like between each floor for the path to actually work. So I just had to I came up with this tunnel that is connecting this habitat to the rest of the path, so it is all connected underground. Unfortunately, the keepers won't be able to to enter this. I made like an implied keeper access that you'll see in the cinematics by the end of this video. They have this like stairs coming down from this bridge, so it could potentially work. We are building in sandbox mode, so I am not too bothered by that. I will prefer to go for something realistic than something that is working for the sake of working. Those animals won't starve to death or anything. In real life, they would be fed, it would work like completely normal. So I hope you guys don't mind that. I wasn't able to do it anymore like any other way. So to make it, I had to, you know, make a small enclosure under the ground that the keepers transported the animals into, and then I had to manually move them into the rest of the habitat. Okay, but moving on, the Elm Hill City Zoo has a new entrance. If you guys guys haven't seen that video that I uploaded, I think last week, so while I was gone, I had a guest builder in the zoo. His name is Zuv, and he just, you know, texted me one day and offered to rebuild the whole entire entrance and the parking lot, because he heard me talking about this in one of my videos. So I was like, okay, sure, let's do that. I am all about, you know, showcasing talented people, and also I wasn't in a mood to do it myself, and I knew that it needs to be rebuilt to match the rest of the standard basically of the zoo. So I agreed, and if you guys haven't seen that video, I will of course put the link down in the description and on the screen. It is so amazing. It works for the zoo so well, so I am very happy with that. When it comes to the plans for the Elm Hill City Zoo, because you guys often ask about those, what I will do in the future is of course focus on finishing the reptile house. We still have some of those to add, we only have 2 right now, but from now on, because I did so many things in this video, it should just go like quicker, because I have the roof done, I have the bridge, one of the bridges done, and so on. I know how I want it to look and so on, so it should go smoother and faster. So we'll be adding different crocodilians, the Nile monitor, and also the Galapagos tortoise. So this is the plan for the nearest future of the Elm Hill City Zoo. When it comes to the other animals from the tropical pack that I still haven't got the chance to add, for example, there is a fossa that you guys really want to see, and I actually decided to build something cool that will probably build maybe after the reptile house. I will see, or in a, you know, in a future somewhere. I will build a Madagascar house, because we have lemurs in the game, and we have the fossa, and we have also Aladabra giant tortoise. This tortoise lives on Seychelles, that is the islands that are quite close to the Madagascar, so I think that we can sort of like mix those guys together in one habitat. So the Aldabra giant tortoise won't be in this house, it will be in another, but I thought that building a really cool like Madagascar themed house would be nice, so we'll for sure build something like that. When it comes to the gibbons, of course I want to build a primate section in the zoo, and this probably won't be a primate house, it will be more like a primate section. So there will be like individually placed different habitats with indoors and outdoor spaces for the primates and so on, but this is definitely something that we'll do. We'll also finish the African area and add different animals that we are still missing, and I should probably also tell you about the sloth, because some people asked about this guy, and the sloth is probably will be added into a tropical house if I will finally decide to build one, because we don't have too many animals for it right now, but maybe some of the new animals will be added so that we can build a proper tropical house, like a walkthrough tropical house for our guests in the zoo. So I think that those were all the animals from the tropical pack. When it comes to the next DLC actually, because I think that we should get an announcement pretty soon. A lot of people suspect that the new DLC will be out like around 20th of June or even like earlier. We'll of course see about that. I will of course cover all the news about the new DLC here on my channel. I think that this will be an animal pack. I hope so, maybe, I don't know. I really like the scenery pack still, just because I love building in this game, and the building pieces are getting better and better with every DLC, but the recent animal packs were just amazing. The animals are always like top tier, like beautiful, and something that we really want as a community. So if it will be an animal pack, I will be like equally super excited. I hope for a desert pack or for an island pack or something like that. Maybe a mountain pack or highlands or something. That will also be cool, but we will see. Something that I forgot to mention about this video is that you will see this entire huge wall made from, you know, those faux rocks that I created using the stalagmites, and suddenly it will disappear. This is because I've changed my mind during this build. I wanted to make the rock walls inside of this habitat using the stalagmites, but they are a bit like too 3D. I mean, they take up too much space, and this habitat got a little bit too small, so that's why I decided to delete this wall and to just use regular tropical rocks. And I quite like that idea that I decided to go for it, because this is something like that I haven't done for a while. You guys are probably a little bit bored of me using those stalagmites rock walls, so this was so nice to build something different and to challenge myself in some different ways to make this rock wall using the regular in-game rocks a bit more interesting with a lot of details and so on. And I think in the end I really like it. The only thing is that I don't know if I would be building this again, if I would use the tropical rocks, maybe something more like you know, not so dark, because this entire habitat is a bit dark, also especially because of its positioning and the shadow, that, you know, this entire wall in the back is really always covered with the shadow, so it's really dark. The other thing that I wanted to say in this video is to simply say thank you. Thank you for all your recent support or your messages, especially when I was on my vacation. I got so many private messages, comments from you guys that you hope that I am enjoying myself, that I am having an amazing time and so on. So thank you so much for those. The trip was amazing. I had the best time of my life. I saw so many beautiful places. I mean, all the national parks, the Utah, the Arizona, I don't know, the Bryce Canyon was so beautiful. Yeah, the Death Valley, I could just talk about those places and, you know, count them out, but I spent 3 weeks there, so I had time to see a lot of things, and the nature in the United States is just beautiful. Like, it's so amazing. I was so in love with those places, so thank you for your support. Thank you for, you know, those wishes and so on, and thank you for watching my videos while I was gone. I was a bit afraid that, you know, the channel will just, you know, drop down and it will just be, you know, only performing bad while I'll be gone, but actually no, you guys watched, you guys were commenting, you guys were, you know, there for me. I've gained so many subscribers recently, so thank you for that so much. We are almost on 20,000 subscribers, and recently we were celebrating 15, so this is so amazing. Thank you so much, and of course a warm welcome to all the new subscribers, and thank you for clicking that subscribe button. That really means the world to me. Actually, during my trip a lot of big things happened. So my first video reached 100,000 views, so wow, 100,000. This is so major. This is of course the elephant video from the Desert Adventure Park. So I'm so happy that still, you know, Planet Zoo videos can perform so well. I am very excited about this and very excited for the future of my channel and so on. And also my channel gained 2 million views overall, so oh my god, 2 millions. Oh my god, this is so crazy. And also what I wanted to say about my trip is that I'm a bit sorry, because on one day of my trip I decided that I will make this post that I am enjoying this trip so much. It was true, that I would like to share with you guys some of the photos of this trip to show you guys what I'm seeing, like visiting what I'm seeing and so on. And then I just made a 1 or 2 of those posts, and I just, you know, I just stopped doing that because I simply wanted to focus on my trip and I didn't want to spend too much time on social media, and uploading those photos of course took some time, so sorry for that if you were waiting for those photos and so on. I can still post them now that I'm back if you want it, just let me know. I can totally do that if you would like to see some things that I saw. Of course I did a tour of the San Diego Zoo and the San Diego Safari Park on my Instagram, so if you haven't seen that, I have them like saved in the highlights on my profile. And I also plan to finally upload the trip of the Monterey Bay Aquarium that I saw also on the trip, and it was amazing, so I also want to share this with you guys. And if you haven't seen my big announcement, also one thing happened during my trip. My channel became a sponsor of the two animals in my local zoo in Gdańsk in Poland, and those are the Amur tiger and the scimitar horned oryx, and this was one of the amazing gifts that I got from my birthday, and this is probably the best gift ever, so I am so happy about that. If you'll go to the Gdańsk Zoo, there are those, you know, plaques with my name, like Caesar Creates, and the links, or not the links, but how the guests that are visiting can find my channel and my Instagram profile, so this is just amazing. Of course, I knew that I wouldn't have time to tell you guys everything that I wanted because we are almost done with the speed build part of this video, but I really wanted to talk about the gharials a bit because they are really interesting animals, and the fact that they are critically endangered is really sad. There are only around 650 of them left in the wild, and their population declined around 98% in less than a century, so this is crazy and so sad. This is mainly because of the overfishing. They are also caught in the fish nets, and their natural habitat is being destroyed by humans, and that's why they are facing extinction. Their snout looks so weird because they are specialized in hunting for fish, and the male has this like bulbous thing on their snouts that grows when they are sexually matured, and this resembles the pot known locally as gara, so that's how they got their name, and it enables the male to emit a hissing sound that can be heard from 75 meters away. The gharial is also the only living crocodilian with such a visible sexual dimorphism. Not only the male has this big thing at the end of their snout, but also they have bigger skulls, and also they are much bigger in size than the females. And this is all that I have for you in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are excited for the development of this reptile house in the Elm Hill City Zoo. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up down below. Ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any of my future uploads. Leave me a nice comment down below if you enjoyed it. Tell me what you think about this new gharial habitat. Tell me if you are excited that we finally built a habitat for the crocodilian in the Elm Hill City Zoo. If you would like to support the channel a little bit extra, you can do it with the join button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!